Hey, welcome to Seven City Church. We're so glad you're here. We know that choosing a home church is a big decision, so we want to make sure you know some of Seven City's story to make this place feel a bit more like home. I want to begin by taking you back to September 16th, 2011. I was at home on that day praying when suddenly I felt a nudge from the Holy Spirit to write a vision for a new church. It was a moving moment for me, and tears began flowing down my face as I typed as fast as I could the vision that God was stirring in my heart. Well, that following January, I was at Starbucks on Hewland Street in Fort Worth, and I was reading Genesis chapter 26. In this passage, Isaac begins digging new wells, and he named one of the wells Wide Open Spaces. When I read those words, I sensed God saying, "Stephen, it's time to dig a new well." Just a few days later, Karen and I went to eat pizza at Mellow Mushroom in Fort Worth. And while we were at lunch, I said to Karen, "I really want to plant a church." We'd had a lot of conversations about it before, but on that day, Karen looked at me and said, "Me too." I suddenly felt a confirmation that it was the right time to take this step of faith. So a few days later, I met with my pastor and I shared with him our dream to plant a church. That conversation led to the eventual purchase of the building at 2900 West Lancaster Avenue for only $109,000. Needless to say, that was a miracle made possible by a faithful congregation that had been meeting at that location. A few months later, on May 27th, 2012, we announced that we would be launching a new church just 4 months later. That meant we only had 16 weeks to build our teams, to renovate a building, and to bring this new church to life. Needless to say, we were working 16 hours a day with an amazing team of volunteers to see this dream become a reality. And finally, on Sunday, September 16th, we opened the doors to Seven City Church. Now, here's the crazy part of the story. The day God prompted me to write the vision for a new church was September 16th, 2011. It was exactly 1 year later to the day, on September 16th, 2012, that Seven City Church began. Well, that's the beginning of the story, but that's not where the story ends. In the summer of 2014, we received a miracle gift of $137,000 to pay off the building in our initial renovation. We were blown away at how God was providing. And over the next couple of years, God continued to do amazing things as lives were transformed and the work of the gospel was advanced. But in 2017, we were feeling growing pains. So on Seven City's 5th birthday, we launched a vision called Brave, which would include some big missions goals and a major renovation of the entire bottom floor of Seven City. 1 year later, the renovation began, and we enlarged our auditorium and kids space by 50%. And on May 5th, 2019, we celebrated the grand opening of our newly renovated space. Over the years, God has done incredible things in and through Seven City. In fact, since we've launched, we've seen hundreds of decisions for Christ and people baptized in water. We've helped plant churches in cities like Boston, Nashville, Milwaukee, Kansas City, and New York City. Plus, because of the amazing generosity of so many people, Seven City has invested over $1 million in local and global missions. We've funded slavery rescue operations, water wells in Uganda and Malawi, a medical clinic in Nairobi, Kenya, and we regularly support over 30 missions partners around the world. Seven City's vision is to see cities transformed by equipping people to know Christ, experience community, and influence culture. And that's the vision we want to invite you to be a part of. Our desire is to equip you to know Christ more deeply. Our hope is that you'll find a community of people at Seven City where you can build friendships and flourish in your faith. And our desire is to help you discover your God-given purpose and use your influence to make a positive difference in our city, on your campus, through your career, and around the world. Welcome to Seven City Church. We believe the best is yet to come.